Hey everyone, and welcome to Khan eVarsity. Today we're diving deep into the world of electroplating. Whether you're a total newbie or you've dabbled in plating before, this video is your one-stop shop for everything you need to know. We're going to break down every single step, from planning your project and gathering your gear to troubleshooting common problems and keeping your setup running smoothly. So buckle up, grab your safety glasses, and let's turn those dull, rusty parts into shiny masterpieces. All right, before we even think about breaking out the chemicals and wiring up our setup, we need a game plan. First things first, what are we plating? Are we talking about a small, intricate piece or something a bit larger? Different projects call for different approaches. Next up, let's talk about the type of plating. Do we want to go the electroplating route, using an electrical current to deposit metal ions onto our workpiece, or are we thinking about electroless plating, which relies on a chemical reaction? Choosing the right method is key. Now, before you skip ahead, I know what you're thinking. Safety first. We'll be dealing with chemicals and electricity, so having proper ventilation, gloves and eye protection is absolutely non-negotiable. Safety isn't just a suggestion, folks, it's the law. Before we even think about mixing solutions or flipping switches, let's make sure our workspace is safe and ready to rock. First and foremost, ventilation is key. Electroplating involves chemicals that can release fumes, so a well-ventilated area or a fume hood is absolutely essential. Next up, let's talk personal protective equipment, or PPE for short. We're talking gloves, safety glasses, and even a respirator if you're working with particularly nasty chemicals. You'll need a power supply, a plating bath, anodes, your chosen metal salts to make the plating solution, and of course the workpiece you want to plate. And don't forget about cleanliness. Having a clean and organized workspace is crucial for successful electroplating. Now that we've got our safety gear on and our workspace prepped, let's move on to the fun part. All right, we're finally ready to get our hands dirty. But before we dunk our workpiece into the plating bath, we need to talk about jigs and barrels. Jigs are perfect for holding individual parts, especially if they have a complex shape. They act like little conductive hangers, allowing the electrical current to flow through the workpiece and deposit that shiny metal coating. Now, if you're plating a whole bunch of smaller parts, a barrel is your go-to solution. It tumbles the parts around in the plating bath, ensuring they get coated evenly from all angles. Once you've got your jig or barrel sorted, it's time to load up those workpieces. Make sure they're properly spaced and secured so they don't touch each other or the sides of the bath. All right, folks, this is where things start to get seriously scientific. Before we can even think about plating, our workpieces need to be absolutely spotless. Even the tiniest bit of dirt, grease or rust can ruin the entire plating process, leaving you with a blotchy, uneven finish. So how do we get our workpieces sparkling clean? Well, it's a three-step process: cleaning, pickling and sometimes etching. First up, cleaning. This involves removing any loose dirt, grease or grime using a solvent cleaner or an alkaline solution. Next, we move on to pickling. Pickling involves dipping the workpieces in an acidic solution to remove any rust, scale or oxides. Finally, depending on the type of plating and the material you're working with, you might need to etch the surface. Remember, a clean workpiece is a happy workpiece. Okay, now it's getting exciting. We've prepped our workpieces, our plating bath is mixed and ready to go, and we're itching to start plating. But hold your horses, because choosing the right plating method is crucial for achieving that flawless finish. We've got two main contenders in the electroplating: ring barrel plating and rack plating. Barrel plating involves loading your workpieces into a barrel and tumbling them around in the plating solution. It's the go-to method for plating small parts in bulk, like screws, nuts or jewelry components. Rack plating, on the other hand, is all about precision. Choosing between barrel and rack plating depends on a few factors: the size and shape of your workpieces, the desired plating thickness, and the overall volume of parts you need to plate. We're so close to the finish line, I can practically taste it. Our workpieces are plated and looking shiny, but we're not quite done yet. First up, it's time for a rinse cycle. We need to remove any residual plating solution clinging to our workpieces, and we do that by giving them a thorough rinse in clean water. Next, depending on the plating type and the desired finish, we might need to dip our workpieces in a neutralizing solution. Now for the grand finale drying, we need to make sure our workpieces are completely dry before we pack them up or put them to use. Remember folks, those post-plating steps might seem small, but they're crucial for ensuring a long-lasting, flawless finish. Alright, plating enthusiasts, it's time to channel our inner Sherlock Holmes because we're talking about quality inspection. In the world of electroplating, attention to detail is everything. We need to inspect our workpieces at every stage of the game, before plating, during plating, and after all those post-plating treatments. Before we even think about dipping our workpieces in the plating bath, we need to make sure they're free of any defects, scratches, or imperfections. During plating, keep a close eye on the amperage and voltage readings. Any sudden drops or spikes could indicate a problem with your setup or solution. And finally, after all the plating and post-plating treatments are done, it's time for the final inspection. We're looking for even plating thickness, consistent color, and of course, a smooth, blemish-free surface. Most electroplating issues are easily fixable with a little troubleshooting. Congratulations, electroplating champions! You've plated your workpieces to perfection, and they're looking absolutely stunning. If you're shipping these plated beauties to a customer or just storing them for future use, proper packing and dispatching are crucial to prevent damage and preserve that hard-earned shine. First and foremost, we need to choose the right packaging materials. Bubble wrap, foam inserts, and acid-free tissue paper are our best friends here. Next up, let's talk about containers. Sturdy cardboard boxes or plastic bins work well, but make sure they're clean, dry, and free of any contaminants that could react with our plated surfaces. Now, when it comes to arranging our workpieces inside the container, spacing is key. Those extra few minutes spent on careful packing and dispatching are well worth the effort. Alright, electroplating enthusiasts, let's talk about something that's often overlooked but is absolutely crucial for long-term success. Plant and equipment maintenance. We need to regularly clean our plating baths, tanks, and other equipment to prevent contamination and ensure consistent plating results. Next up, let's talk about those anodes. Regularly inspect your anodes for wear and tear and replace them as needed to maintain optimal plating performance. Don't forget about your filters and pumps. Regularly check and clean your filters and make sure your pumps are running efficiently. And finally, let's talk about those pesky leaks. Electroplating solutions can be corrosive, so even a small leak can lead to big problems down the line. Regularly inspect your tanks, pipes, and fittings for any signs of leaks and address them promptly. Alright, fellow plating fanatics, let's talk about the tools that give us superpowers in the electroplating world, testing and measuring instruments. These gadgets are our eyes and ears, providing valuable insights into our plating solutions and helping us achieve consistent, high-quality results. First up, we've got our trusty pH meter. This handy tool measures the acidity or alkalinity of our plating solution, which is crucial for optimal plating performance. Next, let's talk about the hull cell. This ingenious device allows us to test our plating solution under various conditions, helping us troubleshoot problems and fine-tune our process for that picture-perfect finish. Mastering these instruments and understanding the data they provide is key to unlocking the full potential of electroplating. Alright, eco-conscious electroplaters, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart: environmental responsibility. Electroplating, like many industrial processes, uses water and generates wastewater, but that doesn't mean we can't minimize our impact and keep things green. First and foremost, water conservation is key. We can implement simple yet effective measures like rinsing optimization and leak detection to reduce our overall water consumption. Electroplating wastewater often contains heavy metals and other chemicals that can be harmful if released untreated into the environment. That's where effluent treatment plants come in. By adopting environmentally responsible practices, we can protect our planet and ensure the longevity of our craft for generations to come. Well, there you have it, folks. We've covered a ton of ground in this video, from the basics of electroplating to advanced techniques and everything in between. Remember, electroplating is a journey of learning and experimentation. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Try new things, and most importantly, have fun. If you found this guide helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with your fellow makers and tinkerers, and don't forget to subscribe for more in-depth tutorials and behind-the-scenes shenanigans. Until next time, happy plating!